The British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good morning. I'm Nate Elms, and these are your news headlines to 10:30 a.m. 2 swatting-style incidents occurred on Vancouver in Sunday. A 911 call was placed mid-morning, May 10th, with threats of an explosive device at Waterfront Station. SkyTrain and Seabus services were paused temporarily while police cleared the area. Shortly after, Richmond RCMP and a local news organization received an anonymous email detailing the threat of an explosive device on board a flight departing YVR Airport. There were no major disruptions to service, with only the flight in question being delayed until authorities cleared it for takeoff. A fire broke out in a seniors' apartment complex early Sunday morning, leaving 2 in hospital and dozens displaced. Our producer Isabella Vertone has more.
The building suffered significant damage after 3 North Shore fire departments and 60 firefighters responded to the call. The same apartment building complex was involved in another fire just 3 years ago and was still being renovated to repair the damages from then. North Vancouver Fire Chief Mike Danks said the lack of the drywall in the construction area allowed the fire to spread more quickly. Back to you, Nate.
Thanks, Isabella. U.S. President Donald Trump has been under fire for planning to accept a luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet as a gift from the ruling family of Qatar during his trip to the Middle East this week. Critics say the president should reconsider the gift based on the ruling family's ties to known terrorist organizations. ABC News reporter Jonathan Karl has more.
Qatar is a government that held where the headquarters for Hamas was located until very recently, where the Taliban had its headquarters during the entirety of the war in Afghanistan. Any foreign country would be an issue, but particularly this foreign country would be an issue.
Trump has called the plane a gift in a very public and transparent transaction. President Trump has also signed a sweeping executive order setting a 30-day deadline for drug makers to lower the cost of prescription drugs or face new limits over what the government will pay. The order signed Monday calls on the health department to broker new price tags for drugs. If a deal is not reached, a new rule will kick in tying the price of what the U.S. pays for medications to lower the prices paid by other countries. Public health agency leaders will start meeting with drug companies to offer new prices over the next month.
जिंदाबाद पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद मसल्ला फौज पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद जनरल आसम मनीर जिंदाबाद जिंदाबाद.
Residents of Chakoti, a border town near the line of control in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, rejoiced at a rally today to honor Pakistani military leaders and its soldiers. It comes after yesterday's announcement of a ceasefire with India. Recent clashes had accelerated the tension between the two nations to the worst in nearly 3 decades, and raised fears that a full-scale war could erupt. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India has only paused military action and will strike if any further terror attacks occur. Tremors in Tennessee shook residents yesterday morning outside of Knoxville. Sally Teagues of Tellico Plains, Tennessee, says she was not prepared for how to handle it.
Like, where do we go? We don't plan for an earthquake. And do we go outside? Do we stay inside? Do we get the children? Do we get under the table?
Seismologists say the 4.1 magnitude earthquake could be felt as far away as Atlanta and warn aftershocks are possible for the next week. Thunderbolts and Sinners are dominating the box office charts again. Mike Dabowski with ABC News has more.
I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
The Marvel superhero film Thunderbolts took home top honors at the box office for the second weekend in a row, raking in around $33 million. That's a little short of analyst expectations, but it was enough to beat out Sinners.
Be back now.
Michael B. Jordan vampire movie, which took in just over $21 million in its 4th weekend of release. A Minecraft movie, The Accountant 2, and the horror movie Clown in a Cornfield, which was new this weekend, round out the top 5. Mike Dabowski, ABC News.
For weather today in Vancouver, we are looking at a mix of sun and cloud, currently sitting at 12 degrees and expecting a high of 14. For the rest of the week, we could expect some rain starting on Thursday.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Good morning, I'm Gabe Liesi, and here are your sports headlines to 10:48. Good morning, I'm Gabe Liesi, and here are your sports headlines to 10:40 a.m. The Florida Panthers evened up their second-round series last night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Both teams have won their first two home games, and the series is now a best-of-3. Panthers goalie Sergei Bobrovsky earned his fifth career playoff shutout after saving all 23 shots he faced. Goals from Carter Verhaeghe in the first and Sam Bennett in the third was all Florida required. Panthers coach Paul Maurice praised Bobrovsky's performance.
He's his own little leadership committee there. He just goes in and gives us so many consistent looks that look like tonight. I don't spend any time thinking about goaltending, thank God. I'll just screw it up.
A critical Game 5 goes Wednesday in TO. The Dallas Stars topped the Winnipeg Jets 5-2 in the early NHL game yesterday to take a 2-1 series lead. The point of contention came early in the third period when a goal scored by Stars defenseman Alexander Petrovic was ruled legal after a video review that took more than 5 minutes. The officials determined Petrovic did kick the puck towards the net, but that the Jets goaltender Connor Hellebuck directed it into his own net. Jets coach Scott Arniel explains what he was told after the goal was awarded.
The rule states that if the puck gets kicked, if it hits a body or a stick of anybody else other than the goaltender, it counts as a goal. It hit our goaltender's stick and went in the net. That is no goal. So they said that Helly propelled the puck in. I haven't seen the word propelled in the rule book.
The touch off Hellebuck's goal stick negated the kicking motion by Petrovic. Game 4 is Tuesday night at American Airlines Center in Big D. Sticking with hockey, Catherine Dubois of the Montreal Victoire ended the longest game in PWHL playoff history last night with her goal in quadruple overtime. Her game winner came with less than 5 minutes left in the 7th period of hockey between the Victoire and the Ottawa Charge. The game lasted nearly 6 hours at Place Belle in Laval, Quebec, requiring 75 minutes of overtime play. Ottawa captain Brianne Jenner tied the game with 42 seconds left in the third period. The series is now knotted at 1 game each. Game 3 is scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern at TD Place in Ottawa. Hopping across the Atlantic now, Team Canada will play its second round-robin game at the 2025 IIHF World Hockey Championship at 11:20 a.m. tomorrow morning against Team France. The Red and White blanked Slovenia 4-0 in its first game of the tournament on Saturday. Former Canuck Bo Horvat scored twice, and Four Nations MVP Nathan MacKinnon scored one of his own, as well as adding 2 assists. The World Championship is being held in Sweden and Denmark this year. Canada is looking to better its fourth-place result from last year. Brazil's Soccer Confederation has said it has a deal with Real Madrid head coach Carlo Ancelotti eyeing the 2026 World Cup and possibly beyond. The 65-year-old Italian has yet to talk about the deal. He will be Brazil's first full-time foreign coach in a century. Ancelotti is still under contract with Madrid until the last round of the Spanish League Cup on May 25th. The CBF said in a statement that he will officially take over Brazil the following day. The Vancouver Canadians will look to bounce back tomorrow night after 2 straight losses against the Spokane Indians. It's been a tough month for the Canadians with only 3 wins in 10 games so far in May. The Canadians begin a 6-game series against the Everett Aqua Sox at Nat Bailey Stadium tomorrow night. In a build-up to the French Open starting at the end of the month, top-ranked Jannik Sinner overcame a brief lapse during the first set of a 6-4, 6-2 victory over Dutch qualifier Jesper de Jong in his second match back on tour in front of his home crowd at the Italian Open. Sinner jumped out to a 4-1 lead, but then lost his serve twice as the 93rd-ranked de Jong evened the set at 4-4. Sinner found a way to regain control and reach the last 16. He also extended his winning streak to 23 matches. Coco Gauff routed Emma Raducanu 6-1, 6-2 in a matchup of former U.S. champions. That's been Sports to 1045. I'm Gabe Liesi, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.